Foreign service can be catalyst for change.
That Papua New Guinea has a leadership role.
National ID launch protested.
This is our priority.
And Buimo jail commander calls for community help.
This is National EMTV News with Tokana Hasavi.
Good evening and welcome to Thursday's news. It's good to have your company again. The Foreign Service can be a significant catalyst for change in Papua New Guinea. Minister for Foreign Affairs Rimbing Pato made the remark last night at the inaugural graduation ceremony of the PNG Foreign Service Training Program. 29 people graduated from the program, which covered topics ranging from PNG foreign policy, diplomatic practice, international law and global strategic studies.
The graduation of the Foreign Service Training Program was held last night at the Laguna Hotel in Port Moresby. Guests included ministers of cabinet, members of the diplomatic corps and invited guests. Director of the training program, Peter Eafeare, said the program is an initiative of the Government of New Zealand and Papua New Guinea, administered through the Victorian University of Wellington and the PNG Department of Foreign Affairs. The primary objective of the Foreign Service Training Program is to help build capacity.
To the graduates, I have had the greatest pleasure of helping mentor you through the last 9 months. I certainly hope you remember your P's and Q's, your comportment, and most importantly, you remember who you are representing each time you open your mouth to speak.
The training is an interactive program conducted by facilitators for 3 initial weeks at the Victorian University of Wellington in New Zealand. Minister Rimbing Pato said that as PNG faces new and emerging social, political and economic opportunities from globalization, it's important for the Foreign Service to build PNG's connections and partnerships for the betterment of the country.
The Foreign Service is the ears and the eyes of our country. It is our responsibilities to establish those elements of globalization.
Professor Winnie Laban, Assistant Vice-Chancellor of the Pacific Studies, said globalization is not a new concept to the Pacific region.
The whole legacy of collectivity in the region started a long, long time ago with our ancestors. My great-great-grandfather was one of the first 2 Samoan missionaries that came to Papua New Guinea, and he's buried here. So one of the ex-prime ministers of Papua New Guinea said, "Winnie, your bones are here." So when people talk about globalization, the Pacific people have been doing it since day one.
I have this firm conviction that it's Papua New Guinea that has the resources, it has the energy and the drive. And when I have been talking to the trainees in this program to point out that Papua New Guinea has a leadership role.
Secretary for Foreign Affairs William Dim said PNG is not only preparing for some important upcoming events like the Pacific Games and the Pacific Islands Forum, but also looking more widely and further ahead.
To play a proactive part and ensure that government policies are implemented and Papua New Guinea's national interests are protected and promoted in a rapidly changing regional and global environment.
Mr. Dim said the recently reactivated Foreign Service Training Program makes up for lost opportunities in the past and helps build the human capacity for the department and PNG's missions and posts. Deli Waigeno, National EMTV News.
The national government's National Identity Card project was officially launched yesterday in Mount Hagen, Western Highlands Province. Despite a small protest questioning this government's initiative, Planning and Monitoring Minister Charles Abel told the people of Western Highlands that this is the way forward for Papua New Guineans to access vital government services.
The launching of the National Identity Card project, or PNG NID, started with the opening of the province's first civil registry office. Followed by the first registration of Western Highlands Governor Pius Winty with other senior leaders of the province. A quick tour of the facilities, then the delegation moved to the Queen Elizabeth Park, where hundreds gathered to witness the official launch of the project. Registrar General Dixon Kiragi announced a new benchmark this office will set for the people of Western Highlands Province. Kiragi said the office will also be tasked to make sure services are delivered to prescribed registration premises under the NID project.
Plenty time, Mr. RM, Western Highlands, people complain, Mr. Talk, oh, I'm taking me months, location birth certificate. I'm taking months, location marriage certificate. I'm taking months long, working some kind of amendments now, private records. But as of today, Honorable Governor, one time Minister, actually only opened office. And at this point in time, the office is now, the system is operational.
A small protest disrupted the ceremony. However, the program ran as planned. Former Prime Minister Pius Winti said the country needs leaders with vision, and the PNG NIV project is part of the government's vision for developing the country.
Good vision, good thinking, good people, society changes and good things happen. You know how it's changed from not label something.
Minister for National Planning and Monitoring, Charles Abel, said the PNG NIV project has no hidden motives. Abel said the NIV project will pave way for government services to effectively reach all Papua New Guineans.
This is our priority. Priority for Mibla, Prime Minister Mibla, Cabinet, and current service come down. Now, how do we union, especially on beginning? That is the priority. Time you carry this kind program, NID program come inside. In program law, supporting us, strolling this kind thinking, that's all. In our main program.
Western Highlands is the second centre outside Port Moresby to have its own NID office. Other centres will be opened in Central Province, Morobe and East New Britain in the coming months. Stanley Ove Jr., National EMTV News.
Well, despite the small protests that disrupted the PNG NID launch in Mount Hagen yesterday, Minister Abel says the event was successful. Minister Abel said Papua New Guineans have the democratic right to protest against this government initiative. However, the media must not blow out of proportion events like the protest. The minister was responding to a front-page story in one of the dailies.
So it's just unfortunate that there's a few, misunderstandings, of course, out there. I couldn't really understand what the group was protesting about. I didn't really understand, and maybe they didn't understand themselves what they were protesting about. It just seemed to be a general protest about I don't know what. So I just want to say that let's not let the issue blow out of proportion. It was unfortunate, but it's a good program. It's a program designed to help ordinary people, to make their lives easier, to make it easier for government to deliver services to them. And so our government is committed to this program.
The Gumine District Authority in the Simbu province is determined to empower its people and engage them in agriculture and other macroeconomic activities for development. Following on from a memorandum of understanding signed in March this year, the district is committed to fund the ward intervention rollout. CEO of the Gumine District Authority, Christopher Kiayao, handed over a cheque of over 1.6 million kina to Nationwide Microbank through subsidiary Me Bank, who will deliver the financial services to the people.
The Gumine District Authority's CEO, Christopher Yayal, presented the 1.63 million kina cheque to Managing Director of Me Bank, Tony Westaway, yesterday in Port Moresby. The money is from the 2013 to 2014 District Support Improvement Program, or DSIP, funding to the Ward Development Committee in Gumine District through the Nationwide Microbank.
We've already made an agreement with the bank, Me Bank, and the Gumine District to roll out the rural ward intervention program. We made an agreement, and now we are here to present the check of 1.63 million.
The Nationwide Microbank, trading as Me Bank, will deliver financial services to the people. New group passbook accounts will be opened for all ward development committees. This will allow for each of the wards to access the funds to undertake micro projects in their respective LLGs. Me Bank Managing Director Tony Westaway said the bank was glad to assist.
As the CEO said, today we're receiving 1.6 million to do with the ward development. We've opened up accounts for 45 wards, and my bank will assist the Buimo district in administering those funds, and I can assure you that they're in a safe place. My bank is licensed and regulated by the Bank of Papua New Guinea.
Mr. Kiayal said appropriations will also be made in the 2015 DSIP funds through to 2017 to enable a sustainable ward intervention program. He said this is the blueprint that will move the Gumine district forward in terms of development. Deli Waigeno, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News tonight. We'll have the latest on the Buimo jail breakout plus more local stories. Stay tuned. Good to have you back with National EMTV News. Amongst the 59 Buimo escapees still at large are those convicted of rape, murder and armed robbery. 9 were recaptured on the day of the mass breakout, which was last week Friday. A list released by Buimo Jail contains the names of 69 escapees who broke out from the high security compound after a second gate to the perimeter fence was left open. Buimo Jail Commander Judy Tara has appealed to the lay community to assist police in the recapture of these serious offenders.
In this list released by Buimo Jail are the names of the escapees, their offences ranging from willful murder to rape. The prisoners are from the high security compound. They are men that were going to spend many years for the crimes they were found guilty of committing. 59 of them are still at large after 68 of them made a dash for freedom during last Friday's heavy rain. Now, 9 of them were recaptured on the same day. A brief report released by Buimo's High Command revealed that on 5th May, prison guards received intelligence of a planned mass breakout. Buimo Commander Judy Tara said in the report that shift duty guards were made aware of the planned mass escape on the 6th of May, but they failed to perform their duty diligently, allowing the mass escape. The report released also stated of how the 68 managed to escape the high security compound. The escapees took advantage of a second gate left open to allow low-risk prisoners to use the mess in the high-risk compound. They climbed an old rusting fence and dashed through the single quarters of the prison guards before passing through marriage quarters and into nearby settlements. The report also stated that an armed post guard could have shot the escaping detainees. He fired warning shots instead. A team from the Papua New Guinea Correctional Services headquarters in Port Moresby is travelling to Lae later this week to conduct a full investigation. Police and CIS officers are now appealing to the Lae community to assist in recapturing the escaped convicts. Lae police are heavily involved in the recapturing exercise. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News, Lae.
The head of the Public Administration Institute says the key to vital service delivery depends on the performance of public servants. A presentation at the District and Provincial Treasurers meeting in Lae on public servants showed human resources was a critical factor for service delivery. It identifies training and upskilling of human resources as a tool for improving service delivery.
During his speech at the District and Provincial Treasurers meeting in Lae today, IPA Director Angori Wawarang talked about the importance of having professional work conduct amongst public servants. The idea is planning and management in the public service workforce that can be strengthened through more skills and training.
Ensure that we develop and build programs that meet the needs of people in the provinces and districts, not only for the council, but also other public services.
The annual Provincial and District Treasurers meeting has attracted financial management discussions from financial professionals from public entities, government departments and the private sector. Some of their discussions found that efficient work performance conduct is attributed to effective training.
We are the gatekeepers. We facilitate, we ensure that we work closely with them so that the training that's undertaken there are more relevant and practical.
The Institute of Public Administration aims to professionally train public servants in the public service workforce. The type of skills and training taught to the public service workforce will help deliver services to the people. Colin Barilai, National EMTV News, Leh.
Transparency International and the Office of Climate Change and Development signed a memorandum of understanding yesterday to promote transparency in the extractive industry. Both organizations will collaborate to design and implement mechanisms and activities to recognize the importance of climate change activities.
According to a report from TIPNG, PNG's forestry sector is characterized with lack of transparency and accountability mechanisms, persistent allegations of corrupt practices, and significant losses to public funds. This has prompted the corruption watchdog to be involved in REDD+, to promote and support transparent and effective forest governance structures and address its surrounding corrupt issues. TIPNG Executive Director Emily Taule today said that climate change will become a pressing issue if not addressed properly.
Our vision is to ensure that citizens are engaged and involved in REDD+ development and implementation, and furthermore, that preventive policies and practices against corruption are well incorporated.
REDD+ aims to reduce the contribution of deforestation to climate change by paying tropical forest-rich countries not to cut down trees, but rather to conserve the forest and carbon for effective usage. The Office of Climate Change Development, under its REDD+ program, also tries to protect people's rights in addressing carbon cowboys, which is another name for illegal forest activities. However, challenges have emerged in the ongoing process of drafting PNG's REDD+ policy and legislation.
By 2020, there will be a performance mechanism in place, or a compliant mechanism, meaning that in our rainforest, natural rainforest, we can be able to trade REDD+ carbon credits.
Meanwhile, TIPNG and OCCD will collaboratively educate and make awareness to citizens and stakeholders on the importance of reducing emissions through deforestation and forest degradation, or REDD+, and enforce policies and practices that prevent corruption in natural resources through accountability, transparency and integrity.
People see opportunities to divert funding that should reach the general population and ends up in the pockets of those who are either sufficiently clever or sufficiently criminally intent to be able to make sure that people don't get the benefits.
Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News.
Sangwon International Limited has responded to claims made by 3 NCD schools for payments made to them in 2013. The company says documents are in place to verify and justify payments for software development and hardware purchases. Earlier this week, Ward Street Primary School, Gordon Secondary and Badili Vocational claimed that the company was double paid by them and the Education Department. However, the company says police have investigated them and they have documents ready to be presented in court. A letter from the Education Department justifies the payments. However, if the schools still insist on retrieving the payments, the company says they will settle it in court. Representatives of Limawu Holdings Limited and the Turubu local level government in Wewak district say the 50 million kina earmarked for the Sepik Plains did not capture the Turubu oil palm project. And they've called on the Commerce, Trade and Industry Minister, Richard Maru, to explain where this public money was spent.
The
Turubu oil palm project in East Sepik province is in the spotlight again, this time by Limawu Holdings Limited and Turubu local level government. Representatives from both parties supported the opposition leader's question in the recent parliament sitting about the 50 million kina that was earmarked for the Sepik Plains agro-industry project. In a media conference this afternoon, these funds were queried.
Minahamas true. So me happy to national government today. Suppose this money stop where at least almost give me plus sample of this money. lo mibla lo turbo help am so mibla can use him lo generate more revenue or make him work must come up help him country lo mibla lo make him generate more revenue lo country.
I don't see any reason why the money that was intended for the entire region of the Civic Plain did not capture our oil palm project in Trupo, the Lemao Holdings, the Lenona company.
50 million government put him long in. Mibla like him this 50 million because Mibla give him ground a project is in down business. Employ sebi misibik na Papua New Guinea. You know, Trupo tasol this project. That's why me come here.
It was also claimed that what was presented by Mr. Maro in the recent parliament session was not true.
So me carry go down there, me looking come back. Now me fight lot this law. Ask him 50 million. You know, not or something. But yet, Richard Maro me affecting project and me Barabi project. Talk plug and in charge of parliament. I mean not true. I mean like he must go back when the people sit down there, go through the process. When I'm here, you talk through. When I'm here, I'm through.
Company Secretary Willie Nilmo also brushed aside critics that Lemao Holdings Limited was a foreign-owned company. However, he maintained the project is for the people of this nation.
Why am I talking about Lemao Holdings? A genuine Lenona company operating along Civic Plain for more than 5 years, and you claiming that this is a foreign-owned company. And we talk about people like 5 million, low national planning, people are stealing. That is all lies. When them document the problem, people like 5 million on national planning.
Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has announced the new membership of Papua New Guinea's APEC Business Advisory Council. PNG's APEC group now comprises of David Toa, General Manager Corporate Affairs of Steamships Trading Company, Isikeli Tareka, Executive Vice President PNG Interoil Limited, and Managing Director of Lamana Developments Limited, Costas Constantino. The ABEC's main role is to provide advice and effect consultation on issues affecting regional business activities. Every year, ABEC members are expected to develop an annual report for APEC economic leaders, which contains a series of recommendations for maintaining stability and enhancing economic growth in the region. Mr. O'Neill says the ABEC's efficient running is important as the country prepares to host an ABEC meeting next year and then host the APEC process in 2018 and the APEC CEO Summit. And now we check out the finance news. The Kina closed at $0.3665 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our Kina was trading at $0.3590 $0.4608 Australian dollars, $0.3133 euro, and 43.66 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold and cocoa closed the day lower, while coffee and copper closed higher. Palm oil closed lower, while copper and crude oil closed the day higher. And finally, on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 236 points higher, the ASX closed at 72 points higher, and the All Ordinaries closed at 58 points higher as well. You're with National EMTV News tonight. We'll have stories making headlines overseas when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Turning overseas now, in South Korea, 14 new cases of Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS, was confirmed by its health ministry today. This takes the total to 122 in the largest outbreak of the virus outside of Saudi Arabia. Among the newly reported cases was a pregnant woman who contracted the virus at the Samsung Medical Center in Seoul, which has been linked to a number of other confirmed cases. The spread of MERS has stirred up public fear and confusion, prompting President Park Geun-hye to postpone a visit to the United States. Health officials have also have been criticized over a lack of transparency and for failing to swiftly contain the spread. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi sparked global uproar after he praised Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina for her courage to fight terrorism despite being a woman. The hashtag, despite being a woman, turned into an online frenzy on Twitter during the week, with users expressing anger at what they described as a sexist remark. Prime Minister Modi, who was on a 2-day official visit to neighbouring Bangladesh, told an audience on Sunday that his counterpart, Sheikh Hasina, showed commitment in eliminating terrorism that has plagued both South Asian nations. The Indian Prime Minister, while congratulating his Bangladeshi counterpart, used the words "despite being a woman." The audience, including Bangladeshi and Indian media, reported on the usage of the words, claiming the phrase was derogatory to women. Almost instantly, Twitter became the online vehicle driving the hashtag "despite being a woman," attracting mostly negative feedback from users. Shamistha Mukherjee tweeted the hashtag saying PM's statement reflects a mindset that is parochial and condescending towards women with typical gender stereotypes. Boogie2988 tweeted, "My wife is both a homemaker and career woman because no man or woman tells her what to do." While others, like Internet Hindu, shone a different light on the issue by tweeting, surprising how the ones promoting the hashtag, despite being a woman, maintain a stony silence on the atrocities of women in Islamic states. Users also posted images of successful women, including the former Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. They say learning is a lifelong journey and that age is just a number. Both sayings were evident when 102-year-old Ingeborg Selim Rappaport received her doctorate at a ceremony yesterday. Her achievements occurred 77 years after finishing her dissertation on diphtheria in 1938. Ingeborg now becomes the world's oldest person to attain a doctorate. As a Jew, she was not allowed to sit the final oral exam under Adolf Hitler's anti-Semitic race laws at the time and could therefore not receive her diploma. But despite her current age and past circumstances, she managed to accomplish something that she set her mind to. Selim Rappaport spent months studying developments in the field of diphtheria and subsequently passed her examination, thereby becoming the world's oldest person to receive a doctoral degree.
Honestly, I'm happy it's over, and I think I deserve to quit now.
Last year, the pediatrician's son approached Hamburg University, asking them if they would consider giving her the degree. The university agreed on the condition that she sit for the oral examination. Dean of Medicine Uwe Koch-Gromus, who awarded Selim Rappaport her degree, was impressed. She was undoubtedly a very ambitious, very disciplined person, but personally a tremendously modest woman. Open-minded and alert, which I found very, very pleasant. Not a woman whose fate, which was hard, had embittered her, but radiated an incredible amount of warmth. Before World War II, Selim Rappaport immigrated to the United States, where she qualified as a pediatrician before moving back to Germany in 1950. To some tech news, Apple announced its new music streaming service this week, dubbed Apple Music, with a rate of $10 American a month. Apple's push into the streaming business will likely alter the ways of how consumers listen to music as the music industry grapples with declines in downloaded songs. Apple Music may not differ dramatically from its competitors, but comes with Apple's deep music roots, global brand, and hundreds of millions of iTunes customers. Calling it a revolutionary music service, legendary music industry figure Jimmy Iovine took to the stage at the company's annual conference for developers to unveil what had been widely expected ahead of the event. Apple Music includes a service to connect artists and fans and what the company describes as a global radio station called Beats One.
It's all the ways you love music, all in one place. And that place is almost in 1 billion hands around the world already. One app, one single app on your iPhone.
The Connect feature of Apple Music will allow artists to post videos, photos, and music directly to fans. The app feature was presented by rapper and songwriter Drake.
I can't wait to incorporate Apple Music and especially Connect into what I'm doing next. I'm really excited about what I'm working on. And as an artist, I can say, for all those kids sitting at home, it's truly amazing to be part of something that I believe in. And this is something that simplifies everything for the modern musician like myself.
Apple also announced that its next operating system will be named El Capitan and will be rolled out towards the end of this year. We've got True Guy Sports, that's coming up next. Sprint Queen Toya Whistle looking for sponsorship partners, and Team PNG to join Walk Against Corruption. Stay tuned for that plus more.
True Guy Sports.
Welcome to True Guy Sports. Well, hot on the heels of announcing her brand ambassadorship and principal sponsorship with BSP, Toya Whistle is looking for a further 2 major sponsors and supporting partners. Through her management, Papua New Guinea's highly acclaimed sprinting superstar has partnership opportunities available for organizations interested in aligning their brands with hers. Toya has her eyes set on multiple gold medals at the Pacific Games, as well as new national records in the 100-meter and 200-meter events. She's hoping to firm up with her new sponsors prior to the Games, with BSP recently announcing their endorsement as her principal sponsor. Transparency International PNG has announced that Team PNG will be leading the 9th annual Sir Anthony Siaguru Walk Against Corruption. The walk will be held on Sunday on a circuit through a portion of the nation's capital and will consist of members of Team PNG alongside Transparency International members and corporate sponsors, including schools.
TIPNG Board Treasurer Michelle Harfer thanked the various corporate organizations and civil society groups for their support. The Sir Anthony Siaguru Walk Against Corruption was established in 2007 with just over 1,000 participants in Port Moresby. Over the past 8 years, the walk has grown to include other centres such as Kokopo, Kimber and Ley.
So the walk is to raise funds for the Siaguru Endowment Fund to ensure the future operations of TIPNG. It's also to raise greater awareness about corruption among members of civil society. And it provides a peaceful avenue for citizens to express their opposition to corruption.
As a non-government organization, Transparency International relies heavily on donor funds to carry out many of its core and project activities, with the walk being a big source of revenue. When acknowledging TIPNG's role in the country, General Manager for Team PNG, Leith Isaac, commended their role and said that Team PNG athletes were also encouraged to stand for the same objectives in their own lives.
The straight race is significant at a time like this, 23 days out before the Pacific Games begins. Just like the battle our athletes will face and the support we will get from the public and the organizations, we also urge you to get behind this very cause, the walk against corruption.
Here, TIPNG shows its support for the Pacific Games and for our wonderful athletes, and we have Team PNG leading the walk. We are proud of our team and our country hosting the Games, and also wish Team PNG all the best in the Pacific Games.
Support for the walk has seen 85 corporate teams, 63 schools and 6 civil society groups, as well as 15 families and 12 sporting organizations registered to take part. So far, almost 3,000 people have been estimated to show. In line with the Pacific Games, the theme for this year's Walk Against Corruption is Our Country, Our Games, Let's Run the Straight Race. And Transparency International is calling for unity amongst all Papua New Guineans for the 2015 Pacific Games and also for patriotic support for Team PNG. Now, they're also hoping that that same patriotic feeling can be expressed by citizens in their daily lives in opposing corruption. Jeremy Mogi, National TV Sports.
You're watching True Guy Sports tonight. Coming up next, Port Moresby Hunters fans wipe out ticket sales to this weekend's Entrust Super Cup at the Sir John Guy Stadium. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Good to have you back with Trukai Sports. The Pacific Games' first test event is expected to see 15,000 PNG Hunters fans pack the Sir John Guy Stadium this Saturday as the home side hosts the South Slogan Magpies in a Queensland Cup Round 14 fixture. Tickets were sold today at Stop and Shop and BSP outlets around Port Moresby. However, the interest is said to be building outside of the nation's capital as league diehards, particularly from the Islands region, are expected to flock to the nation's capital to watch the game. EMTV's Shane Saroya has more on this report.
Tickets were on sale today, with seats for outer stands going for 25 kina and 35 kina for the grandstand. Hunters coach Marum has stuck with the side that punished the Ipswich Jets 40 points to 28 on Saturday and has resisted the wish to tamper with a winning formula heading into the first Port Moresby match. The only change to the side is prop Henry 1, returning to the starting slot besides fellow bookend Isao Sione. While Enoch Maki shifts back to the bench, Sebastian Pandya will make the 18th man. The last time the Hunters and the Magpies met was in round 1, with the Hunters prevailing 40 points to 18 in Brisbane. Familiar faces on the visitors' side, Kumul's Josh Damon and Matt Trinker, have been named in the South Slogan side, while former Canberra Raiders and Newcastle Knights hooker Travis Waddell will face off with Hunters star hooker Wartovo Puera Jr. Marum has reminded his men to maintain their focus against the Magpies and continue their form, which has seen them on the verge of putting together their best ever streak of 7 wins. The Hunters sit on 4th on 20 points, with the Jets on 3rd and Wayna Manly on 2nd spot. And Marum knows the importance of continuing the momentum, logging 2 points and staying in the top 3. Shane Saroya, National, EMTV Sports.
That wraps up Trukai Sports tonight. The weather details for the next 24 hours when we come back. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Looking at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in southern region, Port Moresby to expect possible evening showers, a shower or two expected in Daru, squally showers in Alatau, afternoon showers in Popondetta, while Kerema to look forward to brief showers. In Momase, brief evening showers expected in Lae, brief afternoon showers in Madang, brief showers for Wewak, and a few showers expected in Wewak. Whanimore rather. In the New Guinea Islands, brief showers expected in Lorengau and Kavieng, showers and thunderstorms for Buka, showers with possible thunderstorms anticipated in Kokopo and Rabaul, while Kimbe to look forward to squally showers. And lastly, in the Highlands region, all centres, evening showers. Now, before we go, a quick report to wrap things up. Tickets to this weekend's Hunters Magpies game are selling out fast as rugby league fanatics lined up in queues at nearly all Stop and Shop outlets today to purchase their tickets for the most anticipated match in the city's league calendar. MTV's Shane Saroya caught up with some of these fans, and here's what some of them had to say.
160 outer stand, we sold around grandstand. We sold grandstand tickets around 100 and 600 and outer stand. So total of all tickets, 160. Now, so I want sales mipla working around 18,500. The total in the morning, just early hour in the morning, we sold all our grandstand tickets.
According to the shop assistant, as soon as the ticket selling booths were opened, the fans rushed in to purchase their tickets.
Early hour in the morning, when we opened the shop, the customers were already here, lining up, queuing up. When we didn't actually put out our float out here, and customer line up finished.
The Stop and Shop Barocco brands tickets were sold out in less than 3 hours.
Yes, that's my first time to see customers lining up like that and really screaming at us about the tickets.
Papua New Guinea is known for its love for the sport, and surely it's not a joke, especially with their home team, the SP Hunters, playing their first match in the nation's capital.
Yes, that's my first time to see customers lining up like that and really screaming at us about the tickets.
in a stadium that is of world class. Most of the fans were ecstatic of the game being scheduled to play here in the nation's capital, and most importantly, in a stadium that is of world class.
So I'm not considering no, me looking me black sim now out of stand, but I'm alright. Me pocket that me black psych up sere look am watching hantas ya. To hantas pa play now will come sere lo CD na me pocket a boy me black pull up me black psych up it look am watch. I'm look me black stadium. I'm kapa by broke na bam black watch na support lo spirit lo support sere.
Must be lo capital. Osem so miss 10 osem sla 15,000 seats lo stadium lo me play am lig Tomaso. Me at me ras na me come buy ticket lo me must see one plus seats inside na support him team lo me.
Claim all association na bote. So me sa feeling mosem me sa like boxing bed blow na mo around close to 1 time wala but basta lo wala lige. Lost team game lo yet lo ke bitole me amas through sem. Bami looking very on Papua Nigini all play lo yellow field lo me plan. Same time to me sa gab lo looking all bragas na about performance side of field.
Tickets here at Stop and Shop 4 Mile are selling out, not only in Stop and Shop but other branches around. Both Mosby are selling like hotcakes for the most anticipated match, the Hunters and the South Slogan Magpies, and that is coming up this Saturday. Now, for a country so passionate about rugby league, can't get any better than this. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
I knew I should have bought my tickets today. Let's hope tomorrow will be a lucky day. Now, before we go, a recap of tonight's main headlines. Foreign service can be a catalyst for change. Also, National ID launch protested, and Buimo jail commander calls for communities' help to recapture prison break offenders. Well, that's been the news, sports and weather for Thursday, June 11, 2015. From the entire news crew, I'm Tokana Hasavi. Thanks heaps for your company. You take care and stay safe. Good night.